On June 7th, I played in a locals only Pokémon trading card game live competition. How did it go? Now the first thing I had to think about was what deck to bring to the competition. I wasn't really sure what other people would play, but I was expecting to see a fair amount of Marnie's Grimmsnarl. And I didn't really want to play Marnie's Grimmsnarl myself. I didn't feel super comfortable with that deck just yet. It became pretty obvious pretty quickly what deck I should be playing. Rocket's Mewtwo EX. Now a lot had to change from the original list that I showed you in the video for Rocket's Mewtwo. I just didn't feel like it was quite strong enough and not really given the same vibes. So of course the first thing I did was go max rarity. As it turns out, if you go to the very end of this current cycle for TCG Live and buy everything, then you have almost every single card from Rocket's Mewtwo maxed out. So now, my deck looked the part. I swapped out those Rocket Great Balls for standard Nest Balls, got a few practice games in, and felt ready to rock the tournament with Rocket's Mewtwo EX. But I knew, if I wanted to make a real mark on these locals, I had to bring just that little bit more to really let them know. So, every round started like this.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James.
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light!
Why are you doing this?
Because I'm playing Team Rocket. Not the ideal start. I don't get the Proton, but I have Ariana for next turn. I'm fairly certain this is Raging Bolt, so I get a second Tarantula and power up the Mewtwo. I was right. It is Raging Bolt. They look like they're having a much better start. Turn 1 Fan Rotom into the Ditto and Hoot Hoot, and they have Prime Catcher on the Tarantula. But luckily, it looks like they whiffed the energy in Stadium, giving me a chance to breathe. Now I have a decision to make. I decided to put energy onto the Tarantula, as it's more likely for me to find a Spidops plus a way to get energy in discard and just one-shot the Baby Bolt than it is to find the 1-of switch. But of course, I whiffed all of it. All I can do now is get more Pokemon into play and pass. My opponent finally powers up the Baby Bolt with the help of Noctowl for Crispin. They can initiate the prize trade, but for some reason chooses to target the Tarantula on the bench. This play made absolutely no sense. Unfortunately, I had everything I needed in hand to punish. I power up my lone Mewtwo, use Rocket's Giovanni to bring up that juicy 2-prizer and take the KO with Erasure Ball. My opponent now has to play Fez, a huge liability, and uses their second Noctowl to establish a board state. They take another prize with the Baby Bolt, and now I'm staring down the potential for Bolt Senior to start swinging next turn. I really need more Pokemon in play. I can't afford to let this get out of control. So I know I need to keep applying pressure and disrupt their board. Using the Prime Catcher I pulled from the prizes, I drag up that Fez, which is easy pickings for Mewtwo. I then used Archer and bumped their Area 0. They now have no Hoot Hoot, no Fez, and only a 3-card hand. I really need this to stick. They finally get the swing with Bolt Senior. My precious Mewtwo goes down, tying up the game. I have very little established at this point. All I could do was apply pressure early, and now I'm paying for it. Finally! Off the rippity, I finally see my first Spidops of the tournament. This gives me an opportunity to choose the win. The path to victory is clear. Swing with Spidops now, don't take a prize, and then swing into this bolt again with another Spidops. Oh, and don't bench 2-prizer. My opponent decides to protect the bolt and retreat. The Spidops survives, and I have Giovanni in hand to clean up the win. Game 1 was a bit of a struggle. The deck didn't really do what I was hoping it would do. But on to game 2 and my next opponent. And with it being closed decklist, I had no idea what I was playing against, other than the fact that they won by deck out.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth.
This is a full-on experience going on right now.
Jesse.
James.
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Oh, that's right.
Let's go.
Nice, let's
Let's
go.
do it. Yeah. We gotta rule in. Now, with that small nugget of information, I was absolutely racking my brain trying to think about what I was up against next. Now, I could see that they were running the Noctowl engine, so I assumed it wasn't going to be Great Tusk Mill. And I just couldn't get it off my head that they were probably playing something crazy like Wugtrio. And it wasn't until like 2 turns in that I finally found out what I was up against. And I was absolutely mortified to see that it was in fact Hydreigon EX. Ah, okay. Hydreigon EX is an absolutely shocking matchup for me. Not only is Mewtwo weak to Hydreigon, meaning it can knock it out in one hit with Crashing Headbutt and discard the top 3 cards of my deck, but also, if they get a Spidops in the active spot, they can knock out 3 Spidops in play with its second attack Obsidian. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to be playing the Neo Upper Energy to get to that Obsidian as soon as possible, wipe the board, and then shake the hand. So all I've got to do is knock out these Dino on the bench. And would you look at that? I already have problems as they've evolved one on the bench with TM Evo. Luckily, it looks like the other one is Prize, so maybe I'm going to get lucky here, knock this one out, and then just pray that they can't find a rare candy even with Noctowl available. Nope. Missed out on it again. I actually forgot that Mewtwo has an ability which means it can't attack unless we have at least 4 Rockets Pokemon in play. And I pulled none off of the Ariana plus Rockets Factory. So, I guess I just pass. My biggest saving grace here is that my opponent only has 1 card in hand. Now, unless that card is a Noctowl, I'm feeling alright. I mean, what could they possibly do with a 1 card hand this turn? As it turns out, not a lot. Now, my opponent correctly identifies that Mewtwo is able to do 280 damage a turn, and decides to evolve into Hydreigon EX, protecting it from that damage. Unfortunately, what was forgotten is that Hydreigon is weak to grass, which is pretty much my only out into this matchup. So, I powered up my Spidops, used Proton to fill my bench, and then paid the hefty retreat cost with Mewtwo EX to take the knockout with Rocket Rush. I'm feeling much better about the situation. I'm up on the prizes, my opponent still has a 1 card hand and they have no Zwelos in play. At this point, they would need an absolute screamer of a draw. They need Hydreigon EX, Rare Candy, Counter Gain, and Neo Upper Energy to swing this back around in their favour with the Obsidian attack. No surprises, they did not hit the God Hand from hell. A defensive promotion of Hoot Hoot, and it's back to me. I knew at this point it was time to really get aggressive, and I utilised Team Rocket's Giovanni to continuously target down the most dangerous Pokemon, namely that Dino, to make sure that Hydreigon EX with energy never hit the field. There was a little bit of back and forth using the Teal Mask Ogapon, but ultimately they couldn't stand up to the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX deck. I even made an accidental BM at the end. I don't know why, I just didn't realise that Mewtwo would just knock out that Teal Mask Ogapon, so I used another Team Rocket's Giovanni to bring up the bench Latias. I think what happened was I was getting really caught up on whether I could potentially just attach a Rocket's energy to Mimikyu and then knock out the active Teal Mask using its own attack, which I thought would be a nice little bit of styling slash BMing. But that ultimately just completely made me blank that I could just blow them up with Mewtwo EX.
I mean, you could just done it on the Teal Mask.
Oh yeah, why did I do that?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know. I had it in my head. I had it in my head. I had to Gust to win.
No, that's
Sorry.
no. GG's, man.
I was like, yeah, I need to Gust to win this. No, I don't. It's literally the
No, you
exact same.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's, man. The accidental BMing. So far, a cool 2-0, and against two potentially dangerous matchups. I'm feeling a lot more confident now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next in round 3.
Okay.
Oh, what? Mirror?
Yeah, it is.
Unite all peoples within our nation.
But I've been hitting everyone with the theme.
To extend our reach to the stars. James.
I don't know how to play this.
No, me neither.
I've got no clue.
It looks like my opponent and I are both sailing uncharted territories. The mirror is an interesting one, and I think the Wobbuffet might be useful to move damage counters off Mewtwo if they can't one-shot. And I'm guessing that they're playing Zapdos as well, which I'm not. I'm happy to see the turn 1 Proton, but I have nothing else for next turn, and I am completely living off the top deck. My opponent opens with the secret box in hand. Most importantly, they established something pivotal in this mirror match, the Bravery Charm on the Mewtwo. In my current build, I can't one-shot that Mewtwo at all, making it extremely dangerous. My top deck needs to be good, and it isn't. I have no Rocket Supporter in hand to take advantage of the factory in play, so all I can really do is promote Mimikyu to concede a prize and go from there. But then, the turn I needed to see from my opponent happens. I can feel my first L just creeping in.
Yeah, give it a second. I'm not doing loads this turn either.
Jesus. Found both charms.
I doubt you play Jamming Tower, so they're probably quite safe.
No comment. Okay.
Neither of us are doing much right now.
Okay. Thank Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, Gorobis, thank all the Pokemon. We actually have a chance here to do something. These situations are some of the more interesting in the Pokémon TCG. We're both stalling out and things are about to get weird. I look for my best out on board and find the E-switch into surprise headbutt bounce from Wobbuffet for the first prize. My opponent is playing off a 2-card hand to find some kind of retaliation, and I'm praying to see a Transceiver or Ariana to draw out of this hot mess and take control. Which I don't get. My opponent stalls out again, evolving into Spidops and charging up before passing. The Rocket's Giovanni I pulled off the prizes comes in clutch here, and I'm able to draw from the factory, establish my own Spidops, and start chipping away at that bloated Mewtwo. Another draw pass from my opponent, and I'm satisfied to just keep swinging with my brave little Wobbuffet. They finally get the R energy and take out the Wob, putting energy into my discard pile ready to be powered back up with the Spidops. The first bloated Mewtwo goes down and I'm one step closer to victory. Hilariously, I actually find a Rocket supporter, but it's Archer, so I can't play it as they'll get a fresh hand to work with. From here, we enter into the Spidops wars. I have a couple of advantages here though. I'm down to 3 prizes remaining to their 5, and I'm able to get multiple Spidops into play. All I need to find to secure my win is the Bravery Charms to protect my Mewtwo's. I never see them for the entire game, but thankfully I avoid conceding to the erasable one-shot until the very end of the game. The spiders pull through, and it's another victory in the bag for Rocket's Mewtwo EX. 3 games and 3 wins, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. I only need 4 to make top cut, and it is top 4, so if I can win the next game, then I'm guaranteed into top cut. Pairings go up, and I instantly know the deck I'm playing against, because they've been super keen on this new archetype, and they've just won an in-person locals that day with that deck. It's Garchomp.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite
The fuck are all these sound
our
effects?
nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James.
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
No, that's right. What?
That is not from playing a transceiver. You're playing that sound. Surely.
Now, I've played this matchup a few times online, and it always seems to go the same way. I can one-shot the Garchomp with Spidops because of weakness, but they play Survival Brace, and now I can't. And then they churro the damage, and I've done nothing. I can try to target down the Roserade to limit damage so that my Spidops can live a little bit longer, but in the end, the combination of big HP and Professor Churro ultimately loses me the game. Oh, and Archer does basically nothing because Garchomp draws cards. Even with the resistance on Mewtwo and the ability to move the damage off with Wobbuffet, I still come up short in the end. Needless to say, I'm not feeling very confident going into this game. My opponent hits the turn 1 Evo using a Dark Energy, and I'm already staring down a double Gabite on the bench. One thing I do feel confident in is that my Spidops will be safe this turn. With no Roselia in play, there's no fear of the Roserade, so Garchomp won't be able to knock it out. I take the lead with Rocket Rush. My opponent is able to use their Gabites to get plenty of Cynthia's Pokemon into play. They Iono, but with the energy to attack and don't see a brace. All I need to attack now is another basic Pokemon.
Enough. Enough is the answer. Oh, that's fucking ballsy, that as I should have. Oh, why didn't I do it?
Jake,
Ugh,
you need to prepare for trouble.
Oh, can you actually not?
And now the Rocket Rush makes it double, baby. Let's go.
Ah, god damn it.
That draw was absolute filth. Not only do I get the Pokemon so I don't need to worry about it, but that frees me up to use Team Rocket's Giovanni to blow up that Garchomp for another 2 prizes. And it's looking pretty good. My opponent finally gets an energy on their Garchomp. But with no other Gibble in play, they're not going to be attacking with another one anytime soon. They whiff on the tool again and have to make a desperation play. Using Boss's orders, they drag up my Mewtwo and punch into the resistance. But I have the R energy in hand and pay the retreat cost and take out the Garchomp. My opponent has seen enough and decides to scoop up. Another game, another fist bump. And we've done it. Somehow, I'm 4-0 and into Top Cut with Rocket's Mewtwo EX. There is one more round to play, there's not a chance that anyone's going to be IDing, so I'm interested to see if I can make this a nice clean 5-0 sweep.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of too obvious.
For trouble.
Make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James.
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
Where is this music coming from?
Alright, then go Pult. I do get the turn 1 Proton, but I whiffed an energy attachment, and I know they'll be able to attack turn 2 with Golden Go. I think I misplayed here getting the Articuno so early, but it does allow me to see more cards with Ariana next turn. And would you believe it? they get the turn 1 Arven for Buddy Buddy Poffin and TM Evo. I mean, goddamn, they always have it. So now I'm staring down a board of at least 1 Golden Go, maybe 2, and at least 1 Dracloak, maybe 2 coming up. Things aren't looking good. What you need to bear in mind here is I need a fully powered Mewtwo plus 2 energy on the bench to one-shot this Golden Go. And this hand is not getting me there anytime soon. It sucks to sacrifice the Mimikyu, but at least I'm not activating the counter catcher. They have the dream board state. And with those Dracloak, they can cycle into the deck. They have their Energy Search Pro A-Spec for good measure, and I'm staring down an almost impossible situation. Oh, and they get the boss on my Mewtwo for an easy 2 prizes. As my next turn progresses, I see just how futile this matchup seems. My Spidops has to 2-shot the Golden Go. I can't really play Mewtwo or they just gust it. And they come out of the gate so fast, I barely have time to get anything going before they're hitting 300 damage. This game is feeling pretty chalked. It feels like everything I can possibly do just gets countered. I can't even archer them into a brick because they have so much draw on board. Conceding the first 2 prizes put me so far behind that I can't trade with the Golden Goes with my Spidops. I dragged the game out as it's best of 1, and I wanted to try and scrape some kind of out, but in the end, I couldn't keep up with the pressure. So here it is, my first loss of the competition. I'm now 4-1 with Rocket's Mewtwo going into Top Cut. So, here's the bracket. I'd already beaten the other 2 players in cut, and with my placement of second, I was set to run it back against Cynthia's Garchomp. This time, it was best of 3. I was still scared of this matchup. If they play Turo, I'm cooked, and the dream is dead. Also, I was praying that my only loss would brick out so I didn't have to face them all over again.
Prepare for trouble.
Okay.
To protect the world from devastation.
You actually gonna let me put the top? Danny, for fuck's sake!
To denounce the evils of truth and love. To extend our reach to
Fucking idiot.
stop at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
It goes on for so long.
Oh yeah, let's go. Running it back against Cynthia's Garchomp, and I have a less than desirable hand. All I can do is attach pass and hope to swing for something meaningful next turn. My opponent is seeing a much better start than me. They've got loads of Pokemon in place set up, and they've hit that turn 1 TM evolution as well. So it is going to be a turn 2 Garchomp, and they've got that Cynthia's Bracelet this time to protect the Garchomp from the one-hit knockout. I draw nothing useful, and I'm once again in full-on top deck mode. The only thing I have on my side are the rocket sound effects.
Oh, why did I turn the fucking sound effects back on?
The fucking fun.
Oh, I should turn mine on actually.
Oh, it's so shit.
Give everyone the viewing experience. Thanks to Gabite's ability, I'm now staring down a fairly complete board. They have a low hand size though, and there's no sign of Fez. By some miracle, they whiff the energy and the attack again, just like in Swiss rounds. My board isn't exactly challenging, so I need something off the top to feel better about my position. Huh, that'll do. Oriana gets me back into the game, and I'm able to play this match once more. I decided in the end to lead the Mewtwo, as they won't be able to see prizes off it next turn, and I can nuke the Garchomp for 280 after. That will force them to have to use the Turo the turn after that, meaning that they can't use other supporters to help them get set up or to gust the bench. I'm up 2 prizes. My opponent has a 2-card hand, and I have Mewtwo powered and ready to go. I'm not expecting the boss here, so I'm ready to take a hit, retaliate, and then play it out from there.
only so many sacrifices I can give you. You're fucking 3 prizes up now as it is.
Oh, yeah. Or, you know, they could just whiff the energy again and offer me another free prize. I deliberated for a while and decided it was worth chasing the Garchomp. Now looking back, I think it was probably greedy, but there you go. I also should have promoted the Spidops, taken the 2 energy retreat and saved the E-switch. Either way, I am now a turn ahead of where I thought I'd be. My opponent finally sees an energy. He's so excited though, he fumbles pretty hard. Instead of getting another Garchomp out and swinging with it, he commits the energy to the heavily damaged Garchomp. This does secure him damage and the draw, but it also guarantees me 2 more prizes. And considering how scared I am of Churro, that's great news. I'm feeling very comfortable with how the board is developing. I'm content to use Ariana to keep drawing with this massive hand, but I don't know why I decided to retreat the Mewtwo this turn. I think it was a mistake. It would have been impossible for that deck to KO the Mewtwo with what was on board, and that was a bit of a waste of the R energy. That was, however, the decision I made at the time, and now I am up 2 prizes to 6, coming into the end of this first game of the best of 3. I am already so far ahead, so I don't think it actually mattered. But my opponent does give me the win a turn early by evolving that benched Gabite into Garchomp. With my Prime Catcher in hand and a colony of Spidops in play, that Chomp was easy pickings for the win. Game 1 done, just 1 more win to secure my place in the finals. Game 2. And my opponent opts to go first out of fear of the turn 1 Proton. Unfortunately, that backfires and we see the quickest turn 1 of the entire competition. But that's not all. I've just discovered the source for the Rocket deck. This is something I should have been doing from the very beginning. I'm sad I've only just realised, but luckily I've got an audience for this. You can
Stop.
You could just chain them. So if you go from your deck to look at the board, it gives you the Rocket's sound effect.
Oh, for God's
And then if you go back to the deck, it gives you it again. Oh my god. So good. Anyway, I'm now a turn ahead, and I've established a pretty good board state. My opponent has Iono to see a fresh hand. Luckily, I find a Transceiver, and I have Rocket's Factory in play. With no TM Evo, I'm ready to start running away with this early game. This is my turn to really blast off. I managed to whittle my hand down so that my Ariana plus Rocket's Factory netted me 9 fresh cards off the top. I'm also able to establish a very intimidating board state with multiple Spidops and begin powering up the Mewtwo with Bravery Charm. I fill my bench for max damage and initiate the prize tray with what is probably one of the best attacks in the deck, Rocket Rush. With no Gabite in play, my opponent is into full-on defense mode. They do hit the Iono plus Watchtower to attempt to limit my progression next turn and begin to chain the Gabite ability to set up an attacking force. My hand isn't particularly active and I'm wondering if my top deck will have anything to say about it.
Still feels like not much. Another one?
What? Let's get back up to nice big hand size.
My days.
So yeah, you know the drill by now. Just when I need it, I get exactly what I want off the rip. And the gap widens even further. There is no damage on the board for that Monkey Dory to play with, and I finish the turn by taking yet another prize. My opponent goes for another respectable disruptive play. He gets the bracelet and his Ace Spec Unfair stamp from an Arven to leave me with 2 measly cards and staring down a 400 HP Garchomp EX. He also hits the counter catcher, which will allow him to start the painful task of 3-shotting this Mewtwo. For the first time in this whole set, I'm kind of having a turn off. Just a simple energy switch and Erasure Ball for 280. The tides look like they could shift here. With Spiritomb powered up and yet another counter catcher, my healthy Mewtwo with Bravery Charm gets cooked in one, thanks to the bonus damage from Roserade. I once again need my deck to give me salvation off the rip. His hand's kind of cracked.
Is it fucking Ariana? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, unfair stat, Ariana. God damn it! God damn it!
I asketh, and the rocket deck provideth. That draw completely turns the tables back in my favour, and I take the opportunity to nullify the Spiritomb and take 2 more prizes. My opponent isn't able to land another destructive supporter this turn, and instead chooses to prepare another Gibble. He takes an easy prize on my Spidops, but hey, I have 3 more. I decide to go the route of ignoring the Garchomp. Even though at this point I don't believe there is a Churro, I don't want to risk it. That would be the last thing I need. I pull another Rocket's Giovanni from my prizes, and as soon as I see that my opponent plays Arven for turn, I know that's game in hand. I use the Giovanni to take my last prize, that Wobbuffet that was asleep on the job, and I punch my ticket to the Grand Finals. Somehow, I made it to the finals, and it's going to be against one of 2 decks that I've already played today, either the Mirror or Dengo Pult. Now I think I wanted to see the Mirror more because I felt like Dengo Pult was just such a bad matchup. Well, no such luck. It's Dengo Pult again. We're running it back into the terrible matchup for the finals. By now, you could say the secret is out. Everyone, of course, knew by now that I was playing Rockets, and they also knew about my spicy intro. But you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's the Grand Finals. We got to do it one more time.
Josh is undefeated.
Yeah.
Damn.
To protect the world from devastation.
Oh, not this again.
Within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James.
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
That's right.
Alright, let's do this. I go first, and I have the turn 1 Proton. But then I notice something is off. I've prized all 3 of my Team Rocket's Giovanni. All 3 of them decided not to show up for work. Absolute scam. My hand isn't doing much either. Archer isn't getting me anywhere next turn. It's back to the old prey on the top deck. My opponent establishes a couple of basics on the bench, and then hits me with something I just was not expecting. The Iono. The Iono treats me well, but not my opponent. They have to settle for a petty grudge. I take that inch and run a mile with it. With Ariana and Rocket's Factory, I draw everything I need this turn to be set up and ready to go. I even get to target down the Gimme Ghoul on the bench, which is definitely the bigger threat. My opponent bricks again. Missing the Arven off of the Pokegear, they have to settle for yet another petty grudge. With my first Giovannis off the prizes, I'm now able to get this Spidops out of the active spot and once again target the threat on board. I take the time to set up another Spider and keep pushing with the Rocket Rush attack. My opponent keeps himself in the game. Every time I target a Gimme Ghoul, he plays another one, and that's dangerous for me. After another boss stall, I'm forced to once again use the Giovanni I got off the prizes and take another prize with my new favourite attacker, Rocket Rush. Finally, they get the evolution into Golden Go off the TM Evo, and I'm bummed to find that I don't have an R energy to blow this thing up with Mewtwo. I have to settle on just a 150 poke from the Spidops and hope that my Mewtwo does not get bossed this turn. Use Cypher Maniac's code breaking to guarantee the A spec off of the coin bonus. I'm surprised to see that they don't counter catch you here, and after spending 3 energy to KO the Spidops, I know that they're sitting on at least 2 basic energy in hand. Knowing what's in their hand, I play out what I need to from mine and try and stick a Team Rocket's Archer. I find the R energy and set up a solid board state that I know will be able to blow up anything next turn for my final prize and the first game of this final set. My opponent does see their second Golden Go. They put Fez into play to help get set up and churn through the deck enough to see the superior energy retrieval they need to one-shot my Mewtwo. But of course, I have the R energy in hand and I'm able to hit this Golden Go for 280 damage with the Erasure Ball. One more win and I take everything. My opponent decides to go first for game 2, but is ultimately punished heavily with the cursed draw pass. I have a turn 1 Proton and I'm happy to see some Giovanni in the deck. I get a healthy board setup and decide to Bravery Charm the active Tarantula. I think I was scared of a Dracloak Crispin combo to knock out the Tarantula, but thinking about it now, I don't even think Crispin was played in the deck, so that might have just been a poor choice from me. My opponent hits the turn 2 Arven and gets the Buddy Buddy Poffin into TM Evo for 2 Golden Go. I'm starting to get flashbacks to round 5. Over to me, and I Ariana to see more cards, but nothing useful pops up, so I settle on a free prize on the Dreepy. From here on, it really was like a repeat of round 5 Swiss. They get the counter catcher on my Mewtwo. Maybe I should have just passed instead of knocking out the Dreepy, and it just spirals from there. The entire game is just trying desperately to catch up and to cling on, but they have so much draw on board which I can't disrupt, and they just hit way too hard. Eventually, I do have to scoop and go next. Hey, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please do make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and if you could give this video a like, it really helps me out. And don't be scared to show it off to your other friends as well who are into the Pokémon TCG. Thanks again, and let's get back to the finals. I'm very excited to be going first here in this final game. I open with the turn 1 Proton, get some spiders in play, and I'm eyeing up that Gimme Ghoul on the bench. Cool.
Oh, jeez. Are we back to the petty grudge area? Yeah, I think we are.
Oh my god.
We're back.
Not like this. My opponent bricks out again. They missed the Evo, they missed the Poffin, they missed it all. I'll save you all the pain of watching through this. Essentially, I swing into the Dreepy and then into the Gimme, and they have nothing left. The tournament is over. It is bittersweet, but I've done it. So here it is, the final standings of the Team Exeter Rocket Runback tournament, where we got to play Destined Rivals before they were officially legal physically. And I took the win. I'm really excited to have taken the win. Just for context as well, I played in a previous Team Exeter only competition and went 0-3 drop. Partly, not entirely, but partly because I was trying to do my weekly shop in Tesco whilst playing Gardevoir on my phone. It doesn't work very well if you're not that well versed in Gardevoir, so won't bother trying that again. I think the only thing left to do now is to just wrap this up. Okay, so let's answer the burning question. I've just played through a full competition with Rocket's Mewtwo EX. I've won with it, but do I think you should be playing it? The answer, quite simply, is no. No, definitely not. The thing is after I won with this, I was actually really quite hyped about it, and I was like, oh my god, this deck, I completely underestimated this deck. It's bananas. It just pulls everything you need and you swing and it's great. It's a lot of fun. Your team's rocket. It's cool. You got the R thing. But no, I've now watched back these games and basically I either just sack it off the top or my opponent bricks. That's pretty much it. This deck, fun as it is one of the most mid-tier, well, this might even be like D, E, just fun, jokey, like tier deck. The engine is cool, and when I say engine, I mean draw Ariana. That's the engine, right? It's cool. Oh, I've got the Ariana. Get 2 more off the factory. Let's get it. It's cool. It's a nice idea. It's fun, but I do not think, painful as it is to say, that the Rocket's Mewtwo deck is worth playing. And that's my final thoughts as it is right now in the meta. I've been thinking about it a little bit today, and there's part of me that thinks that it reminds me a little bit of just like how ridiculous Lugia was. You either draw the nuts or you just lose. The difference is, though, that Rocket's Mewtwo doesn't do the really good stuff that Lugia could do. It does like mid stuff. It does stuff mid, so it's potentially super bricky and your trade-off is much lower. So I don't think you should be sleeving up Rocket's Mewtwo anytime soon. You definitely shouldn't waste your money on a fully blinged out Rocket's Mewtwo deck anytime soon. You're talking like 200 quid just for the Mewtwo's each, so you've sacked 600 just on Mewtwo's before you've done anything else. Holy moly, don't do that. I'm sorry, don't do that. Painful as to say. I'm just holding in a sneeze. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. This one, I was going to say it's longer, but no, it's longer on my end because it's taken me hours and hours to edit. Usually I just like to do long form video game gameplay and then just put that out there, but this has taken me a lot longer. I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, you can see I could get real hot in this room. You can just see how sweaty I am. I'm so sorry. Just a grease ball at this point from grinding away getting this out to you. Don't forget, please, to leave a comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think of Rocket's Mewtwo deck and my list, and hey, I'll see you again soon. Thanks.